There was a question about how to add a background color to a transparent pattern swatch, and I thought I know the answer to that, but it's pretty straightforward, I think, but it's really hard to explain. So I thought I'd make a video. The first thing I want to talk about though is I'm using Windows, and so my interface might look different than if you're on a Mac. And the other thing is that I like Essentials Classics as a workspace only because I've been using Illustrator for a while and this is how I'm used to looking at it. So there's a couple panels that we're going to use. One is a swatches panel. So if you don't see, it's also under Windows swatches somewhere here, right? There it is. And the other one, I'm going to tear this off, but just pull it. And the other one that I want to use is the layers panel. So I'm just going to pull that one out too. And then I'll collapse. Oops, the other way. I'll collapse this up so I have these. Okay, so my layers and my swatches panel. In the question, they had polka dots that they wanted a background, and Illustrator has default swatches that come with the program, so you don't have to make your own polka dots. You can just grab them out of the patterns. So at the bottom of the swatches panel, there is a swatch library that comes with Illustrator, and if you go into patterns, there's basic graphics and there's graphic dots. So when I open the library, this is what's in this particular one, and I can go ahead and just click on some of these and they will load in your swatches panel. So I can just go ahead and close this. If you, once you're in the library, you can use these arrows to look at different things. So you can, there's lines, and also I think there's textures in this particular library, which are really good. What I'd use these for is for the opposite side of a fabric, like if you're illustrating something and want to show the back side of the fabric or something. These are nice ones to use. Okay, so what you want to do then is you're going to take one of these transparent background pattern swatches, and you're going to just click on it and pull it out onto the artboard. And what you have to know about these is even though it looks like there is a white background, there is not any background. They are transparent, and so that's what the question was, is how do you make it so I can just use one pattern swatch and have color on it at the same time. So when you look at this, you'll see that there's two boxes. One is the bounding box, and there's this other box inside, a square in this case, that defines the tile of the pattern. So what I want to do is I want to fill that, and to do that I'm going to use my black selection tool, and I'm going to click on that box. Now this is grouped, so I'm going to keep clicking. So double click and double click again, and what I'm getting now is the path is selected. Here I'm in isolation mode. I'm going to go back one because I want to show you how this is built. So this is a group, right? Here's isolation mode. I'm in the group, but if I look at how this is built, you can go through, and these are the basic things that are the different groups that are within this particular pattern. But what I want to point out is this one right here. This is the defining, right, path that makes this a repeating pattern swatch. So, but this is also what I want to fill. So you'll notice it has no stroke and no fill. So that's what defines the pattern. But I'm going to go ahead and fill it. I'm just going to choose a color. It doesn't matter what color you choose. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill that. Then I need that no stroke, no fill back. So what I'm going to do is, this one is still selected. I'm going to do edit, copy, and I'm going to do edit, paste in back. It's really important to use paste in back. You don't want to do, edit, copy, edit, paste and try to align it. You have to use paste in back. What that does is it puts it in exactly the right spot at the bottom of this group. And then you are going to change that back to no stroke, no fill, and that is what is going to define the pattern. So once you have that done, you can exit isolation mode. You can either hit this arrow or you can hit escape. Both of those will take you out of isolation mode. Then what you're going to do is you're just going to use your selection tool, grab everything, marquee select, and drag it back into your swatches panel. And now you have a pattern that has a solid fill. I'm going to go ahead and fill a rectangle with this. You actually don't need this anymore. You can delete it because you have it in your swatches panel. Okay, so I've just filled this shape, right, with my pattern, but I want it to be a different color. And so what you want to do is you want to use the recolor artwork. This is one of those magic tools in Illustrator. If I double click on the color, I can use the color picker, right? I can use HSB, hue, saturation, brightness percentages. I can use RGB, red, green, blue. Use this for web, CMYK. You can put your percentages in if you have a Pantone or something. And this is a hex code, also used on the web. Okay, so you'll just choose a different color. I always forget which color I started with. I'm going to choose a green. I'm going to say OK. And then OK again. And the great thing about this is that you automatically get your new pattern swatch. You can do that as many times as you want and make as many different colors as you want. You can use, I usually go through here. I would definitely look up other things on the color replacer because it's pretty amazing tool. But I'll just do a couple of these here. Okay. Recolor artwork. Not color replacer, recolor artwork. Anyway, so it's a really quick way to change your pattern swatches. I will show you one more thing really quickly. If you pull a swatch out onto the artboard and you scale it either up or down, I'll scale this one. I'm holding shift to constrain the proportions to keep it in proportion. And I'm going to drag this back in. The thing is, it looks exactly the same in here, but if I select this and right, I can make the dots bigger really easily that way. There's lots of different ways to do things in Illustrator, but this is kind of quick. If you don't like the scale, you can always drag this out, scale it, and put it back in. Anyway, so I hope this helps and answers your question.